Gary was one of the few humans in the Muppets. He was the brother of a Muppet-like humanoid called Walter, and the boyfriend of a beautiful lady known as Mary, who we shall look at later. He was a huge fan of the Muppets, and his role in this movie was to reunite the Muppets to help save the Muppet Studios from destruction. He loved being close to his girlfriend and hanging out with Walter, and just like most of the other Muppets, he loved singing. Every movie has a villain, and Tex Richmond was exactly that. All he wanted was to destroy the Muppet Studios after realizing that there was oil beneath it. He was the owner of Richmond Oil, and always wanted to buy the Muppet Studios, claiming that he would turn it into a Muppet museum. But his real plan was to buy the property and demolish it in order to acquire the oil that was sitting beneath the surface. Money was his only drive, and would do anything to get what he wanted. Veronica was a stressed-out network executive who was asked by Gary and the Muppets to help in saving the Muppet Studios. She lived in Los Angeles, and was a very determined woman who took her job very seriously. Nothing slowed her down when it came to determination, and her persistence in saving the studios paid off after the Muppets show returned on screen. Walter was a humanoid Muppet and the brother to Gary. He was a sweet guy and a huge fan of the Muppets, but his only problem was his lack of self-confidence and his low self-esteem. Both him and his brother were the people who reunited the Muppets in an attempt to save the studio and stop Tex Richmond from disgracing their legacy. Kermit the Frog is the most iconic character in this film. He was not the main character in the 2011 version, but was still a major add-on in the movie. He was an anthropomorphic green frog and a Muppet who was among the guys that wanted to save the Muppet Studio from Tex Richmond. He was given the responsibility of finding a celebrity by Veronica to feature in their show in order to try and save the studio. Hobo Joe was a human character and the only human in the audience when the Muppets began their telethon to save the theater. His role was minor, but we still got to hear him singing and acting as an usher to help people in finding their seats in the theater. Scooter was another Muppet who was iconically known for being the backstage manager and the utility stage crew member. Everything that happened behind the screen was Scooter's plan, and was a good friend to Kermit and Miss Piggy as well. Sweetums was a very tall Muppet ogre who was always treated different due to his monstrous appearance. He was just an ogre that loved singing and dancing, and was always helping out whenever he was needed. He loved eating, and was always seen feeling depressed when people kept being afraid of him due to his looks. He was initially a carjacker who then turned into a performer after changing his ways.
Is anyone here? It is I, Pepe the King Prawn.
Fathers play a very important role in the lives of their children. But no one informed Peter Griffin, because he's just an immature man and a very irresponsible dad. His wife Lois is more of a dad than him. And even Homer from The Simpsons is the true definition of a dad that has failed in life. He is lazy and dim-witted, and always makes poor decisions that affect his family, but we can give him extra points because he still loves all his kids equally. Jerry Smith from Rick and Morty is always getting dominated by his wife, and is a man that lacks self-awareness, and is full of insecurities. He cannot even hold down a job, a fact which makes him a hopeless father figure in the series. Mr. Turner from Very Odd Parents is another useless dad who is a clueless and a self-centered man. He is always seen neglecting his son Timmy, leaving him to fend for himself. Randy Marsh is a dad we find in South Park and is an impulsive man with a criminal record, and his behaviors set a poor example for his kids. Buck Cluck from Chicken Little is a good dad, no doubt, but after losing his wife, he struggled with parenting and always wanted to push his own unfulfilled dreams onto his son, which automatically dismisses his concerns. King Agnar from Frozen was very overprotective of Elsa and always wanted her to live a secret life of isolation. And this led to anxiety and introversy, which led to a very challenging upbringing in the future. Pete was a dad from a Goofy movie and was very controlling and manipulative towards his son PJ and everything he did. Seti was the father of Ramesses and the adoptive father to Moses. He was more harsh to his own son and always acted fairly to Moses, and this shows his favorism to Moses and the neglect to Ramesses. Shredder from TMNT is the adoptive father of Karai and always behaved in a cruel and manipulative behavior towards her. Firelord Ozai was the father of Zuko and Azula and was more into capturing the Avatar than taking care of his household. He banished his son and sent his daughter to missions, which drove her crazy at the end of the series. Trigon is a demon and the father to Raven. He is mostly focused with taking over the universe than actually bonding with his own daughter. He is a villain and Raven is a hero, which makes them opposites forever and ever. Judge Claude Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame was not the biological father to Quasimodo. He was his adoptive parent that raised him in complete isolation, and this made him emotionally and psychologically challenged. Sho Tucker from Fullmetal Alchemist is famous for his horrific actions, but nothing tops the action he took when he fused his own daughter with their dog for his personal glory. Gendo Ikari is from Neon Genesis. He is emotionally distant and manipulative to everyone, including his son Shinji. Charles Z. Britannia is the emperor of the Holy Britannian Empire, and is a ruthless and an authoritarian ruler who sees his children as pawns in his quest for power. He always treats his children in a cold way and always focuses on his regime. Enji Todoroki from My Hero Academia is obsessed with surpassing All Might and is always seen pushing his son called Shoto to meet his high expectations, which makes their bond more broken each day. Gambino from Berserk is the adoptive father of Guts and is an abusive and neglective father who uses his son as a tool for his own gain. Even in the Cleveland show, we saw Cleveland's dad known as LeVar Brown, who was a lazy and irresponsible man, and his incompetence as a dad made their relationship sour. Richard Watterson is a father of 3, but he didn't have a job and always depended on his wife to work and take care of the family at the same time. And finally, Mr. Burns, a billionaire in The Simpsons who abandoned his son, Larry Burns, as an infant.